ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie. Today,
T, I'm just going to say this. Common sense ain't that goddamn common.
Ouch. Ouch.
I'm going to start with this dumb motherfucker. I'm saying this dumb motherfucker who said, I'm going to fast like Jesus did for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm not going to eat or drink for 40 days and 40 nights. Guess where he at now?
Yeah. With Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, he was Jesus. All right. He was Jesus. Who the fuck?
Yeah, because the facts are in, right? We know about how long the body can last without food and water.
Yes.
Right? We do know that as a fact. So we don't have to try that and come to some different conclusion. No, you can't do it for 40 days.
No.
About 2 weeks.
Max.
Body going to start shutting down. I don't know if it's going to come back after that.
No. I mean, how many shows do we see with people living out there on the desert, and the first thing they said, we got to get water.
Absolutely.
Don't get water. Within 3 days, I'm going to dehydrate.
Yep.
And the medic going to come and ship my ass and where I'm at.
You're going to start getting delusional. Yep.
Exactly. So what the hell? And so that's a small part of how common sense ain't that common. From that extreme case to kids and people trying different things like the damn cinnamon in your mouth challenge and shit. Hopefully I won't cough and won't die because I saw somebody on TikTok do it.
We don't know where that came from. It literally came out of thin air. It was such nonsense.
Dumb.
Yeah, let me come down to my kids trying the cinnamon challenge. Try to slap you upside the back of your head challenge. And keep that moving just like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, and it's just we live in a world now where common sense is depreciating every day. Older people used to always say, you can have all the book sense in the world, but if you ain't got no lick of common sense, you ain't gonna survive.
Yeah.
That is some true shit.
Yeah. I think it's the willingness to just kind of think on your own. Like, nobody's really thinking. Like, did you even think about what, like a spoonful of a spice from out of the cabinet that you barely even touch at all?
No.
And you said, I'm going to put a whole spoonful in my mouth and swallow it. Yeah, you didn't even want to think on your own. You just said, I'm going to just try it. No thought in it. I'm going to just try it.
Yes. And it's just, you ask yourself, are we becoming just a world of just followers and no leaders? Because I guess it's easy to just follow than lead. And it's like, that's, less stress.
It's the lazier thing to do. Yeah, it's less stressful.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So where does that leave us as a society if you're just going to just do the easiest shit because...
a bunch of worker bees. Yeah, a bunch of worker ants. Whichever one you want to be, a bee or an ant, either way, you're just there working.
God
working. Damn. Yeah. Not creating anything, not paving the way for anything new. Get to the point where we would not be the innovators.
Wow.
Right?
That's
because
true.
we're not constantly thinking, growing, thriving, seeking out something new. And that's going to start to, calm down that creative side of more than just one person, right?
Yes.
Of a whole society of people.
Yes, we've seen it with kids. And when we're supposed to be guiding these kids to think and be innovative and be creative.
Not to take tests.
Not to be just a test taker. Like,
yes.
I got it because I can select the right answer. No, you have to be able to think. And this world is not about taking a test.
Yep.
This world's about, I have to think my way through things. But you at least got to have the competency to say, let me just try to think about some rationale on why I make the decisions I make.
Yep.
But these kids are looking to people who are so clueless or lazy.
That's what it is to me. It's a lot of lazy people surrounding. And I don't know if it's lazy. Maybe it's depleted.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe the people are just depleted from life, who tend to surround so many of our children, right? Mom's depleted because she's, busting her behind in the house and in the workforce. Dad's depleted because, he's probably doing overtime in the workforce or really, busting his butt there. And then when you come home, right, you forget to challenge the children's thought process. You forget to engage in things that keep them, thinking and just growing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
maybe I'm gonna take back lazy, maybe depleted. I'll be nice today.
You gonna be nice. I'm just gonna say, motherfucker, you're lazy. Goddamn, you're lazy. Because if the kids don't learn from the parents, never learning from the parents, then I see a lot of people blaming, oh, the kid ain't doing this and the kid ain't doing that. Then my question is, what the hell you do to help this kid to think and become a functioning kid?
It's like when we think about what happens inside the schools, right? That take away the sports and the arts, right? And we're all up in arms like, oh, where's the music programs at? Or, where's the sports programs at inside of the schools? And so then as a parent, you have to seek those things out, source those things outside of the school. But even inside our own homes, right? We've taken several things out of our own homes, which used to help round out that child, help them think a little bit more, think about the way we don't eat inside of our homes anymore.
Yes.
The way we don't invite people over anymore. When we used to invite a family over for dinner, right?
Absolutely.
You used to ask your children to help you inside the kitchen a little bit more because you were doing more, right?
Yes.
You say, oh, well, let me put together a list because I'm making a big meal. And so then your children would see like, oh, okay, if we do something a little bit bigger, we might want to prepare more, right?
Yes.
So even for some people who aren't the most prepared people in life, right? When you have to act a way that's outside of your norm, right? And your
Absolutely.
child would then see that. Like, oh, no, we got to switch it up, for this. And they will rise to that occasion because they watch you. In the kitchen, when you cook, how many math skills do you apply? The things that children stumble over so often and so easy are fractions. No matter where you're learning math at, no matter what generation, fractions are always present, right? All you need is a good set of measuring cups, and fractions perhaps for a lot of children will become more clear
Because you're using it.
because you're using it and now you're applying it, right?
Exactly.
And so it's those things that are inside the household that used to help balance out, the child that it's really not there anymore. And we complain about what the schools have taken out of that side of things, but we forget what we literally have taken outside of our homes.
That is so damn true. We've taken a lot. And first of all, discipline. And that does not mean choking the shit out your kid. I'm gonna say this to y'all: don't choke your kid. Don't put your hands on them because you can talk to kids. Yeah, the thing is that's something we had to learn. Because a lot of us who a little older realized discipline was like getting your ass whipped, as we've talked about several times.
Yeah.
But we realized that that's not the best way to discipline a kid.
Right.
Because I always heard, spare the rod, spare the child. You got to whip somebody's ass. And that ain't the case. It's like they say, I'd rather beat the fear into you than to have a discussion on why you're going to discipline.
Yeah, I think it's a very healthy balance and act that has to exist when it comes to disciplining your children. And I think today that is a lazy approach that we take we take a lazy approach to disciplining today. We want to create a situation where the child doesn't need discipline, need to be disciplined, right?
Exactly.
So if I just give you your phone and you relax and you just, I don't require you to clean up your room. I don't require you to, do certain things. I don't require you to assist me inside the house. I don't really have many requirements of you so you can't mess up. So I don't really have the need to kind of discipline you. And then when I go to discipline, am I again depleted? Do I even feel like it?
Ooh, that's the thing. I think what you just said about by being depleted is a very good point because it's just a different world now. Actually, years ago, 70s, you really could have one parent working and have the other parent home, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house, doing all that. Now, everybody got to work. Even the baby got to have a job.
Yep.
So you got to put that baby on TikTok doing something funny.
No, real talk.
You got to put that baby, hey baby, Come on, do your funny
But
shit.
yeah, put your clothes on. Let's go.
Come on, we
Get
got
your
to do
costume
something
ready.
funny. You have to, which is so crazy because it's not like you're working to get ahead,
You're working to just exist.
and that's draining. And of course, if you're a parent, understand you got to work. We all got to work.
Yep.
But you can't give it all to the job because the job don't really give a fuck, as the pandemic showed.
I think some people don't know how to not. That's the other part.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you would think, T, based on what we've seen in this damn pandemic, that we're still going through, mind you, people look and say, you know what? I need to figure out another way of doing this thing called work and taking care of my family, and use some sort of skill set or do something because they don't give a fuck. The places I work for do not give a fuck about me.
Yep.
So I need to get out this rat race and develop some sort of skills. Now, granted, it's hard because, again, that means you have to take responsibility for your own existence.
Yes.
Well, if you have control of that, at least you can say, damn, I can go out there and hustle for myself. If I'm hustling for somebody else going to pay me or lowball me, I might as well go out there and hustle and try to scrounge up a little something. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes a little hustle, takes a little work. But you got to do something outside of that because if you keep getting depleted and not passing any knowledge on to your kids,
Yes.
your kids understand that. Oh, mom and dad tired. They stay tired. So now the TV, the smartphone, they now raise your kids.
Yes.
And then you're wondering, why is this kid this way? Well, don't blame the kid. You have to look at yourself. And
Or
don't
you
blame the
looking
schools.
up and you're saying, wow, my kid's about to graduate. And then you sit back and you reflect, what did I put into my child? What did I teach them along the way?
Yes. Because a lot of kids, when they get to 12th grade, you know how unprepared these kids are for life? Just general life. When they get out of school, oh, I'm graduating. Hey. Okay, so what are you going to take what you learn in high school and school in general and apply it to work?
Or what's the next move? What's the next step now? Some of them don't know because the only thing you prepared them for was to get out of high school. Sometimes the level of depletion is so real that you're just like, let me just get this kid through high school. And that can never be just the focus, just to get them through. No, you always have to be preparing them for the next thing.
Yes. Somehow. And you can't put the blame on the school. Oh, the school should have taught them.
No. Because if you want to hold the school accountable, you have to hold them accountable throughout the entire journey, which means that whatever you wanted the child to be learning or honing in on, you should have been, make sure that relationship was being, developed. If the kid needed extra tutoring to get them on par, you should have been got those services. And once it goes time to graduate, whatever mentoring, coaching, preparation that the school had to offer, your child would have taken advantage of that because you would have made certain that you went to the school, you made the phone calls, and you sent the emails to get the services that the school has to offer, but you kind of got to fight to get to them.
There you go, fight. A lot of parents are like, just go to school and don't cause no problems. Well, if the kids having issues in the school and then somehow they can't get to the resources necessary to help them, and they don't want to talk to you because you down there, figure it out.
Just ask the teacher, and the teacher's
Really?
blowing them off and looking at them weird, and they need someone to advocate for them. Do you recall the little, I don't want to call it a challenge, but it was sort of like a perspective shift type of game where everybody came outside and they kind of lined up and they were trying to show how some people had a higher start in life than others, So take a step if you went to a private school. Take a step, yeah. And one of those things that was mentioned was take a step if you had access to free tutoring, right? And so nowadays, a lot of the counties, because of pandemic, are offering what we would see free tutoring services, right?
Okay.
And the question is, how many people take advantage of the free tutoring services if you're not able or willing, to go and, afford tutoring services? We're going to assume that a lot of people still make excuses. I don't have time to pick them up after school type of thing. It's just the option to just not thrive sometimes.
God damn. See, you going we know what happens. I'm working late. I can't do it. I don't have the money, even though it's free. You don't have the time because you got something else to do. You got to take care of your brothers.
But when you're in a rat race, right? You at some point have to figure out how to reposition yourself in life. Nobody else can figure it out, because if being depleted is stopping you from taking an approach to your children where you're stimulating them and helping them think creatively and thinking on their own, that's personal.
It is.
And you have to figure that out and overcome whatever it is. I don't know if it's the, rent/mortgage is expensive, car notes are expensive, food's expensive, gas to commute where you got to go is expensive. We all living the same life, right?
Yes, we are.
But we're also all picking and choosing, what we're kind of expending ourselves on, right?
Yeah, which is crazy to me, because you would think, if you have a kid, that should be your priority. It shouldn't be about the clothes or a certain status. It should be, this is a child. I have to guide this child to be successful. I can either be a hindrance, or I could be that person that's backing this kid and doing what I need to do. But I have to realize and think, don't put your job in front of everything else, because your jobs don't care. So if I can't do it, I wish I could, but the job is this. But then you keep doing that and the kid grows up. And then you understand that if that kid doesn't get fulfilled based on the things it needs, and then you're going to put it out here in the world, again, that does not give a shit about your kid. So you're setting your kid up for failure.
Yeah. If you think about our approach to bringing them up, right? A lot of us would prefer to make sure that they have the cell phones to stay on par with the society, the lifestyle of the average, student their age, right?
Exactly.
So we'd make sure that the shoes are with, kind of today's society shoe, cell phones, video games, the lifestyle, right? And the home, right? The household never really quite attains any bit of wealth.
No.
Right? So you'll spend 18 years literally renting a rental situation and living in a lifestyle that perhaps doesn't look like you're a renter. Drive a fancy car, right? And you'll do it for 18 years.
Oh, of course.
And have an excuse on why you just couldn't quite figure it out, on how to get out of that. Some people are getting deeper into the rat race as the child gets older, and won't realize that, hey, I have to stop buying the shoes. I have to stop buying the fancy computers. I have to, damn these phones. I have to stop affording these phones. There's certain things that you have to cut out, sacrifice in order to get ahead.
Absolutely.
And once you do those things, you'll be able to be more financially set to where you can then serve your child that much better.
Exactly, because you don't have to have the best of everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the newest Jordans and newest this and newest that. Because if you think about it, you want that kid to, after they get out of high school, go somewhere.
Yeah.
Trade school, college, somewhere. But you should be getting them ready for it. That discussion about college and trade school should not happen in 12th grade.
Yeah.
What you going to do when you get out?
The sad thing is that even when you make it to those places or have those conversations early or late, what happens when the child feels like financially my parents would not be able to support me in these arenas?
And they know this.
And so something such as so small as a $50 application fee, right, for a college
Mm-hmm.
application, or
Yes.
some in some households that's a big deal.
Hell yeah.
Like, my parents ain't got $50 to give me for this. They barely got gas money.
That is very true.
And it's like, at what point, do we take that weight off of our shoulders and really live the life that we should be living, right?
Yes.
The article that I sent you, or the post I sent you about the place where blacks are at today is worse off than where we were, how many, 50 years ago, I
Yeah,
think it
50 years
was.
ago. Mm-hmm.
That it really speaks to where we're at today as far as how we're interacting with our children. If we're more financially strapped today than we were how many years ago,
That's
right?
crazy.
It makes sense that we're not able to interact and stimulate our children in ways, and parent,
Mm-hmm.
and teach and educate inside of our own home and with our own children, because we're out of our homes. We're deeper into that rat race than we ever were before.
Oh my God, that is so goddamn true. And it's sad because right now is probably, without question, the easiest time to start your own business, do things to make your life easier. But if you're wrapped up into the image, into the status,
Yep.
then I'm not concerned with building.
Yep.
I'm concerned with the look. I
Yep.
want to make sure that they realize I'm making money.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that loot.
Yep.
But nobody really gives a damn when the time comes to go to college, and
Yep.
you're like, oh, I ain't got no money, but I got 2 Mercedes outside. I
Yep.
got a big ass house that I'm
Barely.
barely affording. I'm working 2 jobs and I'm hustling. But you got really, what you hustling for? Your own shit.
Yes.
And this kid still now realizes like, oh, they ain't saved shit for me. I ain't got no damn set aside for college or trade school, whatever. So now the kid does not understand budgets. He never taught him budgets.
Yep.
He never taught him how to look at your money and make sure you don't just spend every dime in your pocket. Make
Yes.
sure that you got a credit card. You don't put everything on your credit card. That you just learn, I have to use this money that's going to benefit me. That's the problem. We don't learn how to really use money in the aspect that should be used. You hear money's the root of all evil. That's good to say, but really money, if you learn how to really use it, it's your best friend.
Money is a tool.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, that's it. That's all. Money is a tool.
Bingo.
It's that thing that's easy to exchange, for goods or services, right? Either you
Yes.
exchanged, for more goods and services than you had money, and now you put yourself in a situation. Because again, life always goes back to the choices that we make.
Oh, so
We
true.
gotta always sit in those choices. And sometimes, you choose to eat out when you know you should be eating in. You
Yes.
choose to buy the car that you want as opposed to the car that you can afford. You choose to buy the house that looks good to your coworkers as opposed to buying the house that, suits your family size. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Sometimes we choose to live just a little bit outside of our means, right? And then get caught up in that rat race. And then you got your nose turned up about money, where money didn't make or break you at all.
No.
It was just a tool put inside your hand, and then you had to make a choice with what you were going to do with that money.
Absolutely.
And that's why I keep saying we have to get back to looking at our own finances, our own lifestyles, our own choices, and real life saying, where can I cut and where can I stop doing what I'm doing today in order to get to where I want to be tomorrow.
Girl, let me tell you, T. The biggest thing that I see happening in today's world is social media.
Okay.
Social media has put this facade that everything you see is real
An instant.
and instant.
And down to the money.
Exactly.
Right? So you see the family who's doing amazing. Mom's thriving. Her skin is flawless. Kids all dressed, super down to the, polo socks on. You know, they got on $25 pair of socks.
Yes.
You know, and you see the image, you see the little girls, you know, they got what are they, edges popping, they got on a little makeup, they got bundles in their hair.
Yes.
You know, they have all these things going on and popping on social media, right? You see it in this instant gratification, and then you say, oh, I'm trying to do that too.
And what you just said, I'm trying to do that too. So if you have a child who's going to school, family is not that affluent, and they see this constantly because the girls that go to school, boys too go to school, and they see it. They want that. They don't want to be left out. They don't want to be laughed at. They don't want to be teased because, oh, you broke, oh, you poor, you this, you that. They don't want to hear that. So to them, I got to get there. I got to be in that status. So whatever it takes, I'm gonna spend my money so I can look the part.
Yep.
Not that I live the part, I look the part.
Yep.
And in the long run, it's not gonna do anything. And nobody gives a shit. There's so many people that show people I got all this going on. They ain't got shit going on. They try to make themselves feel good. Like, oh, if I put it out there in social media, maybe then people see I'm doing well. I can feel good about myself. But if you really think about it, the people really doing and busting their ass, they ain't on social media putting that shit out there.
Nothing.
They ain't putting nothing out there.
You can't see the background of certain people's kitchens. It's not, you're not, I didn't the backs of my kitchen, in the picture for a reason type of thing.
Hello. Exactly.
Yeah, because some people just don't feel the need to be the braggart on certain things, right? If you know me, then you've probably come by and we've probably had dinner in my kitchen. And you've complimented me on it. But other than that, that's my business. That's my home.
It's your business, your home. But so many people have such a low self-worth that will pump them up. Because somebody out there will look at me and say, oh, look at the life I'm living. Even though I know I'm living a miserable goddamn life, this is a facade.
Yes.
But it makes me feel good. But you're putting something out there now, kids or other people who ain't living that way want to live that way. So now you find everybody still using their money for good.
Yes.
Using money for stupid shit.
Yes.
You buying designers. Designers don't give a shit. Keep buying my shit. Keep making me rich. While you poor.
Or you see people on social media who have fake Gucci belts on, and then you're influenced and so then you go out and break your bank and go buy a real Gucci belt. Or you see the girl walking around with the fake Louis Vuitton bag and you think that it's a real one. So you go out and, break the bank or use your tax money. Like, I got to secure me a Louis bag.
Got to.
And you keep trying to figure out why you can't quite do right, why you don't have time and energy to help your child with their spelling tasks, why you don't have the time and energy, to help your kid with the science fair project type of thing. And the reason is you playing in a rat race, and you playing in it not just for a little bit.
No.
Some for a lifetime. But I'm going to just say for the span of your child, 18 years. You're going to play in the rat race from the time your kid is 18 until they age and out at 18. I mean, from the time your kids go in at kindergarten,
yes,
all the way to 18.
Yes. And then you're surprised why the kid has no sense of money.
Or you're talking to everybody else about the economy or the man holding you down or the renting area costs too much or, jobs just not paying the same. No, but we all living in the same situation. And we all picking and choosing.
You have to, because let me say this. As a person who runs businesses, I'm never concerned about my workers in that aspect. Because as a business owner, you want to make sure that you're maximizing your profit.
Yes.
Because we're a capitalistic society, so it's about profit. So whatever the market can hold or bear, that's what I'm going to pay you. And that's going to be the minimum. Not the top end, but the lower end. Now, somehow I can kind of fit you in based on the top and the medium and the maximum. I'll do that because I want to keep you around. If you're a good client, a good employee, I want to do that. But I'm always looking for what makes me the most amount of money. Right. So you should always know that you're never going to get the top dollar. You're going to get what I can afford or want to give you. So you should look and say, wait a minute. I shouldn't use all the money I'm making because I need to have some rainy day funds. You know that they said that if somebody lost their job today, they got one paycheck before they could be homeless?
Absolutely. We saw it with the pandemic. We saw that with the pandemic with our businesses, which it's a bizarre concept. If America knows that our businesses are literally, they shut down for 1 week.
1 week, and it was like, oh, Lord, we're out of business.
Out of business.
Out of business.
So absolutely, your consumers. If your businesses don't have no security, how could the consumers have financial security inside of their households? Yes, the average person, I could see that. Absolutely. You live in paycheck to paycheck, no fluff in the bank.
None. Zero fluff. And you know that if you're living that tight, you can't have a bounce check, any craziness going, or you're finished.
Yeah.
And at that point, why would you think, going back to common sense, why would you think you want to, if I get 1,000, I got to spend 1,000. Why not think I got 1,000, taxes taken out of it? Why not take 200 of that and just put that in a rainy day fund, a savings account that I don't see? Maybe put some money somewhere else so I don't see, and it just goes away.
Let me tell you why. Because I overspend. I consume too much, and I don't tell myself no.
Wow.
I see it, I want it, I get it. I'm hungry. I wake up in the morning. I might eat breakfast. I make sure I don't make myself lunch. So now in the middle of the day, am I surprised that I'm hungry?
No, you're going to be
You know
hungry.
you're going to be hungry. So now what, I'm going to starve myself? I got to get something to eat. So now you justify making poor choices.
You absolutely do.
Yep, and you don't justify it just on Monday. You do it then on Tuesday, then again on Wednesday. And so by Friday, you looking around like, I ain't got none. So that
Nothing.
money that's out of sight and out of mind, that's part of that list. When you thinking of where you can grab funds from, or the people you could call,
Yes.
that little box that you put to the site that's out of sight, out of mind, that it came to your mind then. I guarantee you that joker came to mind then, because you now depleted your funds. And when you deplete your funds, you're going to go over every resource where you could possibly have funds available. So you go right back to that box, which was savings. Because you don't understand what savings is. You don't understand a budget.
No.
You don't understand living within your means. And if you don't get it, your child certainly doesn't get it. So more than we're creating the child who isn't properly stimulated, who ultimately won't be tomorrow's innovators, are we also setting them up for that rat race that we're living in also? Will they inherently inherit that also? Right?
Yep, you're right. They will.
Because they do what we teach them. And that's what
they see. That's what people don't realize.
And not what we tell them.
I hear so many people, well, no, they're not going to do what I do. Yes, they will. They'll do exactly what you do.
Because that's what you taught them. And so if you taught them the nothing,
Hello.
right, then they're going to give you the nothing. They're going to do the nothing.
Absolutely. All the time. And then don't be mad at them. Just be mad at yourself that you didn't do what you're supposed to be doing. But that's just another aspect. But let's go to the spiritual aspect of these kids. If you're not giving them knowledge when it comes to money and self-esteem and the internet, you're definitely handling the spiritual part of it.
Well, I didn't want to go there, but since you went there and it's Black History Month, you know, I'm just slide that in there.
I'm going
Since
there.
you went there, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Yep.
Where so many of the children today, they're not rooted in anything. And I know that a lot of us are straight away. Like, let's keep it 100. But our foundation, that core, that which you are rooted in, is correct. But are your children properly rooted? When they go away, do they know what to come back to?
Exactly. See, and again, and I go back to this. We all started in the church. if you're black, you started in church. Every way people started at some point in a church, synagogue, whatever.
Yes.
At that point, you're there because you're a kid. They're gonna force you to be there. Even though you're forced there, you're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn a core value of how to spiritually handle your life.
Yes.
Now, as you progress, you may get to a point where you're like, this ain't me, and I'm gonna do something a little different. But at least you start a kid off somewhere where they can say, I started here. I may continue it, or I may say, I want to do something a little different.
Yep.
But if you give a kid nothing at all,
Yep.
you start giving them fuck shit like the bullshit music you're listening to. You're not teaching them. You're not going to church. You're not going somewhere to spiritually feed them. But
what is their foundation then?
They don't have one. They really don't have one.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at a kid with no base, no foundation of spirituality, and now
morals.
Oh, no morals.
Yeah,
no
that's why it's so easy to go out, shoot them up, bang, bang, kill them up, like it's nothing, because the foundation that they were truly rooted in is today's, music, which, wow, for today's music to be the foundation, that's mind blowing. The video games of today, that's like. These are the things that our children today, if you did not fill them spiritually as their foundation, right? This is truly the foundation of some of the children of today.
Exactly.
Music, video games.
And you see how the kids act at school. And they act out in school. And you're surprised. I wonder why they act like this in school. And then I hear some people say, the churches are there. Well, yeah, liquor stores are there too. But the thing is, you have to now, if the church knows that, hey, you're not seeing a lot of kids like you used to, you're not seeing the parents bringing, you now have to turn your church or what you believe into something that will make these kids want to come to your church. Not say, you're going to burn in hell or anything that your soul's going to burn. These kids don't understand that. Yeah, I'm a kid. I don't understand that bullshit. But you want something to bring those kids in the church, so it's another place to go to. Like to go to buy video games. You want them to come and get spiritually filled up with something.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what churches, how they should do it, but they need to do something.
What used to happen was the outreach in the communities, where you would see the children just kind of gather in parks on a Sunday afternoon. The outreach would be for you to go to the parks with some type of treat, and maybe have the word or Bible reading in the park. And that's where you kind of, I don't want to say lure the children from, but hey, just so we have church right here. It's in walking distance from, where you're at right now. Come on over. And because you're right, churches do need to kind of get out there in the communities a little bit more with a little more presence and start inviting families out.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, because it helps. And plus, church would be the place, if they're not learning about money management in school, you could probably have some courses at church.
Yeah, and a lot of them do offer that. Absolutely.
Great. Which means
absolutely
these are resources that these babies need. Because again, we can't say, these kids they're out of control. They're kids. If they got out of control, what the hell? What happened to make them out of control? Kids aren't normally out of control.
The job is to raise them and teach them something. They have no shape in the beginning.
None. And if you're not giving them any reason to shape anything, that you're chasing the almighty dollar. So then they start thinking, doing what you got to do for the almighty dollar becomes the God.
Yeah. So it used to be, Sundays we rest, right? And then it got to the point where it's like, well, Sundays, sometimes I work, right? Well, Sundays, I'm going to rest at home. Church is not even going to be part of the rest day type of thing. And I think that is, just that depleted concept. And we kind of really got to get away from, that depleted concept, because you used to have to kind of take care of home on Saturday to make sure that you were set up for Sunday, right?
Absolutely.
And I think just back to the very first thing you said, just being a little lazy, we kind of stopped setting up our households the way we were raised to set up the household, right?
Yep.
And so now maybe it takes you a little bit more to get your household together because you require less from your child. because it was just easier. Right?
Yes.
And then we circle it all back around. We circle it all back around. Like, you don't want to leave out on Sunday because you're too tired, because you've been working all week, but you don't require anything of your kids inside of the house, but you're sitting back and you're tired. House is dirty. Kids is chilling. You're tired.
Yep.
Tell them kids to do something.
Get your ass up.
Yeah.
Because that's what we used to do. On Saturdays, get your ass up early and you're going to clean the house.
Yes,
Before
absolutely.
you do anything, you're going to clean the house. You can cry, complain all you want in your breath. On your breath, you can do it.
Don't let me hear it. Yeah.
You better go ahead and buff this, scrub that, fold that. Because we're not going to do anything. Because the house has to be clean.
Yeah, and that's your job now.
Yeah, your job.
Yeah, because I'm out doing my job. And, everybody makes a contribution to the situation. You take out of the situation, you have to pour back into. And that's something that you want to teach your children, that concept also.
And ownership, because again, we never just did things. In the beginning, we did things just to clean up. But then you said, I'm giving you an allowance. But that allowance is be used for however certain things you want. So as a kid, you're like, I can blow this shit on some fuck shit now, or I could save for something, a toy, a game, or something.
Something big.
But that's the incentive you got to say, oh, I'm going to go take the trash out or take something out for an extra $1 or $2, or I'm going to, do this for extra $1, because it incentivizes you to do things so you can save that money to buy things.
Yeah.
Nowadays, fucking kids don't do shit. They want, can I get some money?
Yeah.
Fuck you do.
Cash at me this. Cash at me what?
Cash at me. Cash at me what? For what? Shit, I ain't cash at me shit. What you do? Oh, well, about such we're going out to the store. Well, you ain't got no money. You have money? Yeah, you gave me that money last week, that $20. What you do with it? Oh, I spent it on that. Oh, I guess you can have the money. Oh, come on, I'm look bad. No. That's your decision. You made a bad decision to buy whatever you bought last week with that $20. If you had saved that shit or half that shit, you at least had 10. And maybe, just maybe, I would give you some extra
pity.
Money.
Yeah.
No. You spend because you think it's easy. Because it's
because I make it easy. So the easier you make it, then the easier they want it. So if you make it easier, the cell phone makes it easy, everything's just easy. They just used to, that's what you're accustomed to. Life is easy. And you don't get the concept of working hard.
And you have to work for things. That's the other thing. Everybody thinks it comes easy, and you're willing to do anything for it. So when you hear these dumbass rap music talking about, shoot this person, kill that person, sell dope, it's setting your dumb ass up for a lifetime, if you live long enough, a lifetime either in jail or dead. Because what they don't tell you in the end of these songs is, if you get caught, you're going to go to jail. If you get caught messing with somebody's money, they're going to definitely shoot you.
Yeah.
So you want to do the fast money.
Like the repercussions for you. They don't mention that part. Yeah.
No, there's no repercussions. Always the shoot a person. The crazy thing is, if a rapper was to sing about shooting a dog, his ass would get boycotted.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
I saw that.
Shoot that person. Shoot anybody. You have no problem.
Yeah.
Unless you say shoot the police, shoot that person or this type of person, then you get in trouble. Then your shit gonna be off. You ain't gonna be making no more music. But if you can say shoot the nigga, you number one with a bullet. Number one,
skyrocket to the top.
To the top.
Yeah.
But you're not looking at the damage, because again, people, it's just music, it's just entertainment. If that's the case, then you should be able to say, I should kill a dog, I should beat a dog, and nobody should say anything. But it's not entertaining shooting a dog. It's entertaining when you shoot each other and no repercussions, except for you're dead, the other person in jail, so that just weakens the community. So we need to start talking to these kids and monitor what they're listening to. Yeah, and it gets you the beats. I got you. I understand. I've been listening to hip hop forever. So I understand. But I also understand where it progressed from. It progressed from unity.
Yeah.
And taking care of each other and pride and respect for women, respect for men, respect for elders, respect for kids, to this bullshit that we got out here that's people making millions and millions of dollars on, peddling murder music. It's murder music.
It's like we're without conscious programming, know, ourselves, and we have to consciously program, especially our children.
There's no way a fucking kid should be listening to no goddamn Meg Thee Stallion or any of these other artists. I'm going to use that very loosely.
I mean, the way that it's available, though, today, the level of availability, we as a people maybe should be upset.
Should be.
Yeah, we really should be upset because it's so hushed in the backgrounds of so many things that are just, easily accessible to people of all ages. That is like, huh?
What happened to the music when you had to play it and it was a clean version and it was a dirty version?
Yeah, well, today's version, they're all explicit. And it doesn't really for real.
It's true.
For real, because when you go on Amazon, when you go on Apple Music, when you go on whatever the music platform, YouTube music platforms, whatever the platform is, and you go to click on the song, you literally have to go out of your way to get the clean version, if there is a clean version.
Out of your way.
But most of the music that's going to be pulled up is going to be explicit, and even with an explicit filter, like to say like don't play the music with explicit lyrics or take those songs out. I don't know who created like the algorithm for that, but there's still a lot of songs that will come through that are still explicit lyrics.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Why would that happen?
Yeah, like Pandora, all of them. I've explicit filter. Yeah, turn that on. We don't want no explicit lyrics because you're in a professional setting. So you don't mind the music playing in the background, but you certainly don't want to hear certain words coming through when somebody comes in the door with, their 4-year-old child or,
Exactly.
something like that. But it still can make it through.
That
Absolutely.
is crazy. And again, we as consumers need to speak up for it. We need to speak against it because here's the thing. People fail to realize, we have no say. We can't do anything. We just got to settle for it. That's a fucking lie. Because we, blacks, are a $1 trillion business. So we spend $1 trillion a year on everything. So you telling me if I say I don't want to hear it, and you play it, and I say I want to buy your shit, you don't think anybody gonna listen to that? Money is power. People in general, particularly us, we have a love-hate relationship with money and actually understand the real power of money.
Right.
If you understand that when you buy something, you're making a business decision because you're saying, I'm going to buy this, I accept it, and the business will continue to keep feeding it to you because they want you to keep buying it.
Right.
If you say, I don't want to hear this shit, don't buy this shit, don't back the artist, watch how quickly that shit changes around. You won't be like, oh, well, they're not buying it. Yeah. It's all about money.
Because ultimately we're selling it because it does sell. And people do buy it. It literally does skyrocket to the top of the charts.
Yes. And it's so crazy because I saw an article recently about, I forgot the rap star, but he was over in Amsterdam, I think. And literally they were saying the unedited version to him. So all the ends and the inners and all that. So he's singing. And they're singing it back to him. Of course, it didn't look like him, but they were singing it back to him full throat. And somebody said, shouldn't he have a problem with that? I said, I would. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have made that kind of music anyway, even though if they wanted me to make it. That's not, I'm in it for the art, not in for the money. It may mean I won't make any money. Okay, then I'll just not make any money. But if you put that shit out there and somebody that don't look like you calling you that way, you're like, maybe I should rethink how I'm putting this music out here because they're saying it, and a lot of them think it's cool because it's in the music. So let me go ahead and say it. It's in the music. I'm just singing the music.
I'm just saying this is verbatim. It's like a quote.
Exactly.
Laying a direct quote here.
Exactly.
You can't shoot me. Yeah, that's a direct quote. These not my words. Those his. I understand.
He did it. So we have to have a more relatable vision to money than we currently have. Because it's so disposable, because it comes and goes so quick, you don't really realize the power that you have. If you don't have the knowledge about it, then you just keep making the same mistake, but you keep complaining. I can't believe they put more of that bullshit out there. Anybody buying it? Yeah, a lot of people buying it. Because again, they're buying it. But if you listen to the lyrics, as a parent, I want to listen to this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they get to 18, they can listen to whatever. When they get teenage years, okay, they're knowledgeable, but not any younger kids, because now those kids,
So impressionable.
Yeah, so they don't, they're not going to
Vessels
understand
halfway
that.
filled. Yeah, it filled at all.
Yeah, so that common sense thing is like common sense come into play. When you're in the car, don't play that shit. When I was,
It's like you're still establishing the foundation at certain ages.
you always have to look like I am building a foundation for this kid, for my household. I am the one who is establishing their base,
Absolutely.
their spiritual guidance, their, with the music I listen to, how I carry myself. That's the other thing. Women, can you stop wearing the hoochie gear when you got little daughters, even little sons? I mean, people, you're an adult. You can wear whatever you want to wear. That's a given. But damn, can you know and think that, hey, I need to carry myself in such a way that I'm respectable, but that people won't. I can't bring my kid to school and be like, damn, mama. Little boy's like, damn, mama, homegirl dressing like a straight hooch. And then you call me a straight hooch for you dress like one.
Yeah.
And then you
That's
wonder why
fair.
your daughter wants to dress like you. I don't know why you want to dress like me. Well, you dress that way, so you cool with it. So why are you mad? She get some booty cutter shorts and
I
stuff.
think it goes back to just purposeful parenting. Yeah. Yeah. Just being purposeful in what you're doing.
Damn. But I hear a lot of women say, I'm still young. I'm still sexy. Got no problem with you being young and sexy. Even though you had a kid, maybe 18, you're still young. There's a presentation that you now have to have as a mother.
Yeah. I think it's very appropriate for a child to see their mom dressed up, accenting their curves when they're going out, perhaps in the evening hour, perhaps with a husband, long-term boyfriend, a date or two.
Yes.
But there is a place and space where that line has to be crossed. And if it's like the nightclub attire that happens like every Saturday or every other Saturday type of thing, then that's not really appropriate for your child to see that you're nightclubbing it every other weekend or every weekend type of thing. And then to also see, perhaps if the attire is very extreme, because it's nightclubbing, like you said, some are still really young. You want to go nightclubbing, and that's fine, but your children don't need to see you dressed in the super short mini dresses and skirts. Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. Even like you said, going to schools. When we send our children into the building, we remind them that they represent us and they reflect us. So when we go into the buildings ourselves, we need to be mindful that we represent them and we reflect them, and that that's their playground, right? That thing called school.
Yes.
And be mindful that they're going to have to go back into that building when you're not there and deal with how people receive their mother. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't necessarily have to be the provocative dressing, but you come in there and you do too much. You loud, or you're rolling your neck, or you're wearing your rollers. Whatever
Lord.
it is, be mindful that you're representing them when you come into the building, right? And when you go out and about, and that you're showing them ways to present yourself. That's why we dress differently depending on where we go and what we're doing. Right.
Exactly.
And it's good that they see that. Right.
Yes.
So if mom and dad's going out on date night, oh yes, you're gonna see mom, and I'm gonna be dolled up. Yes, and I'm gonna, my hips gonna come out that night just a little bit.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm gonna show off, and I'm gonna put my pumps on, and I'm gonna look damn good. Right. Because you got to know that there's a time and a place for everything. But when I go to church, I have on a nice dress, perhaps my hips is a little more covered. Right. Might put on some heels, maybe not quite the pumps that I wore out, with hubby for dinner for our date night type of thing.
Absolutely.
But, I still look very nice and, presentable, and it's very appropriate. So I think we do need to teach our children, right? Appropriate attire, appropriate times for the attire type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm tired of guys walking around with the damn pants hanging down.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't want to see your ass crack. And again, anybody who knows understand what that look is all about. You see it in rap all the time, but you know if you're in prison, your pants are rolling down like that. We understand what that means.
But if you think about the pants sagging thing, right? What happens when the guys who wear the pants sag and it's time to dress different, right? Job interview, a formal event, just switch it up, anything. Sometimes those pants still sag a little bit. Or sometimes you want to pair the dress pants with the sneaker type of lifestyle.
Damn. Come on now.
You have to teach the children that it's a time to, dress for the place and the occasion.
Good God, that is so true. I can't. I'm so tired of seeing dudes dressed up in suits with tennis shoes on. Granted, maybe some party or whatever, but goddamn, can you have a nice pair of hard shoes?
Yeah, no, and I do think that there are some occasions where, a nice pair of slacks can go great with a good pair of, Converse, or a good blazer, put on a good pair of jeans and, a little pair of, Chuck Taylors, or a little, Sperry's or something like that. That's, yes, but again, you're dressing for the occasion. Don't come into the formal wedding where, you kind of needed some good, dress shoes, and you showing up and, just some Indio regular sneakers because you didn't even have proper dress shoes in your lineup because nobody ever taught you, anything.
You absolutely never taught you. Don't know how to tie a tie. I mean, just these little things. Little
And
things
again, you didn't need to tie a tie because they didn't take you anywhere to wear a tie.
Never took
because
anywhere.
they was too tired and depleted to get up and go, and do certain things with you.
You know what, T, that's very true because there's a lot of people that do not know how to order when they go out to dinner because they never went out to dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, to a nice place, not Fridays, not, those places, but a real sit down 5-course, top-notch restaurant. They don't know how to dress. They don't know the meaning of spoons. They don't know the meaning of forks, knives. They don't know because no one ever took them. But then they grow up. Somebody takes them out somewhere, and you're like, oh, shit, he must have never gone out anywhere. Because you can tell how they act and how they carry themselves. These are things we have to do for our kids. You have to show them. Because if you don't want your kid to go out there and look like the oddball out and be like, oh, shit, he don't know how to eat. He don't know how to
But
dress.
if you're spending your money on McDonald's, 3 or 4 times a week, right?
Yes.
And you're justifying, oh, I can't afford to take my family out because I already went out, right?
Yes.
So you got to be purposeful in what you're doing and the choices that you're making. These are your choices. So either you can choose to take your children out to an informal restaurant like a McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell on a whim because you didn't properly plan dinner. Like you didn't know dinner needed to be done.
Exactly.
Right? Like you didn't put no meat in the sink. Remember that?
Yes, yes.
Like, so where your meat at?
Yeah, I
don't plan on cooking. You're picking and choosing what you can and can't afford, what you can and can't, the experience you can and can't expose your child to.
Wow. That is very true.
And even yourself. Right? Some people sit back and, in their older years and they'll be like, well, I couldn't afford that. I never did that myself. I ain't never been there. Well, you didn't choose to figure out how to afford that. For a whole lifetime, you couldn't afford, let's say, a trip to the spa. How many women say to me, oh, I've never been to a spa before. I would love to do that.
Why would you not pamper yourself?
How could you not afford over, let's say, 40 years? You could never afford to figure out how to take yourself to a spa.
Come on now.
Like, that's just a life choice. Something that you chose not to put into the budget at no point. No, we all pick and choose what we want to do with our time, with our money.
Yes.
And then we have to sit with those choices. And then if in, 18 years, your kids look back at you and be like, you ain't taught me nothing.
Oh.
Well, you ain't did nothing.
That is so true. That is very true because there's so many kids right now as we speak who are about to graduate this year and really unprepared for everything. Unprepared to really work. Don't have a spiritual background. They have no vision for where they want to be. because no one ever taught them there is life after school, not just you get out of school and then, hey, you need to have a plan.
And now you're free. Like somehow school kept you caged in or something.
And you're free to do what? Because now you have to compete in this world, this new world.
So you thought you were competing before inside a building, like, oh my goodness, all my, fellow seniors, like you thought you were competing amongst them and they were, making you sick and getting on your nerves. Now the world's much bigger than high school. And now you have to compete not against just people who are, 4 years younger than you. You have to compete against people who are 20, 30, 40 years older than you and everything, in between.
Yep. And now you're wondering, oh my God, I'm unprepared. Well, welcome to the real world. And now your lack of training or lack of being trained is going to rear its ugly head because you can't do a resume. You don't know what your skill set. You don't know what your skills are.
And you lack common sense. Remember that part? You lack common sense.
God damn it. When we go back to, we said common sense ain't that goddamn common. And now we're seeing the end result of it. Because again, as much technology as we have, we're in worse shape.
So you don't have a resume, and you also don't know how to write a resume because nobody taught you how to write a resume. But you also don't know to Google how to write a resume or Google who to pay to write a resume.
Oh my God.
Right?
That is
and
so
it's
true.
just basic things like that when you mention common sense. That's just missing. So ultimately, I think that makes total sense. Like it makes total sense. We have to definitely parent with a purpose. I think
we have to have a purpose. I mean, if you don't start off, if you don't look at that baby and say, listen, it's my duty and my job to make sure I get them to the next level. Everything I do from now until that time, it has to make sure that I get them to the next level. I have to fill them for things. I have to set aside money for things. I have to do you purposely. You don't purposely say, well, you know what? They'll fend for themselves. As long as I get them to 18, they're good to go.
I will figure it out. You don't just figure it out. Make a plan. Have a purpose. Have something in mind. Right? An end goal. What are we doing this for?
And again, if you don't do it, the world will have a purpose for your kid. Every day they have a purpose.
Oh, they'll have a purpose for you.
Yes, they do.
Like if you don't know what you out here working for, guess what? You'll just be working for me.
Until the day you die.
Yeah. Like they're fine. The world's fine with having slaves.
God damn it.
They prefer it
You're
like
right.
that.
You're right.
Yeah, you're enslaved to the workforce. You spend the least amount of time and energy with your kid because you can never quite figure out, what your point in the workforce is. Right? You never quite understood what your purpose. And so, like you said, the workforce going to figure it out for you. And the only purpose that the workforce has for people is for them to work.
Yes.
Endlessly. As long as you can.
Exactly.
And so if we keep allowing that to drive us, like I just got to go get it. I just got to go get it. You don't know how much you're going to go get, and you don't know how, what's the end game, and you don't know what you're going to do with it once you get it, but you'll figure it out once it get in your hand. You didn't even have a reason to go to work that week. You didn't even get it.
No.
You just said, I'm going to go, and then whatever I have left over, I'm going to figure I might go to the movies this week. It might go to the movie. You can't afford to go nowhere.
Because you're not really looking at what you're really making. And in the end, what's going to happen is you're going to work until you can't work anymore. And then you're going to look and say, I got nothing to show for it.
Yep.
They say right now, 80% of people who are getting close to retirement do not have enough money to live on retirement. Because Social Security is a joke. They use Social Security for everything but Social Security. So now we're putting money into Social Security for people who are already retired. So if you don't have a surplus for Social Security and Medicaid, and we're handling the people who put money in there already, forget that.
That is no help. Yeah. You just think about how much money people make in the year and then how much money they have at the end of the year. Like, just keep it real.
That's true.
Just keep it all the way real. You say, okay, I'll work from January to December, and at the end of December, how much money do I have saved?
You're gonna have much.
And you just have, some people have none.
No, some people in the red.
By the time you get to the end of December, you're like, oh, because that's Christmas.
Yep.
So you know, sat there justified spending, the money that you don't have, even in all the way up until the end, and you do it every single year.
Yep.
You do it every single year, and at no point do you say, I have to choose to do some things different.
Something. They're already talking about right now. The credit card debt is at $1 trillion in credit card debt right now, the biggest it's ever been. And they're like, well, we don't know what the problem is. Of course, you know what the problem is. Everybody putting everything on credit because they can't. They're not making enough to do what they need to do, and they're not saying, "Here's what I make. Here's what I need." Not one.
Yeah, no, we're over consuming.
Yes.
We as consumers today. Across the board. We are over consuming everything.
Every single thing.
And some of the things, like, they're just disposable.
Yes.
So it forces us to, like, over consume because there's so many disposable things. You think about furniture, mattresses, how long they used to last, TVs.
Cars.
Right? So we're kind of over consuming. Even on the things that, you wouldn't over consume on, that's definitely what today's society's really put us into.
And you know what? Here's an example. iPhones come out with an iPhone every fucking year.
Yeah.
Brand new one.
Yep.
And everybody, every goddamn year would take that $1,500 phone, $1,800 phone, and would stand in goddamn line and say, I can't wait to get to 15. And all they're going to do is add one little function in that shit. They're going to charge you $2,000.
Yep.
You're like, that's a good deal.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I actually have to interject on that one. The reason why that happens is because usually when a new iPhone drops, Apple also pushes out an update to make your old iPhone work worse, to force you to buy a new iPhone. A lot of people who actually own iPhones understand that they're in essence renting a system.
Oh, damn.
I mean, at this point, I don't know what to say about that one because
wow,
your asses can't afford it. Okay,
no.
You just can't afford it. So you might have to live life with a little quirks on your phone. I don't know what to say.
T, I'm gonna tell you some good shit. We have a Galaxy 20, right? They just came out with that Galaxy 23, and they sent something and said, well, we see you got the 20, but the 23 does this, and this. Now, when we bought the fucking 20, it was, I didn't realize it was gonna be this much. It was $1,500 for the phone. Never spent. Fuck, I barely spent that for a computer, let alone a goddamn phone. I said to myself, and I said to the whole family, these motherfuckers had to blow up before I get a new phone. And if I do get a new phone, it's because I covered it with insurance. So I gotta get a 23. I don't give a shit because they got some extra shit on there, some extra button on there. For what? 'Cause I got the latest greatest. I don't give a shit.
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
You're like, no.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing. Everybody got to have the latest grades. Got to be, it does this, it does that. As long as that motherfucker can answer, I pick it up and play my music when I want to and look at my emails, I'm cool. I don't need to go out there and keep buying new shit because it's the latest greatest.
Keeping
it's always
up
been the
with
latest
the Joneses.
greatest.
Yeah.
And
I think that's one of the things that we do as the poor folk. We always try to keep up with that Joneses, right?
Exactly. Always gotta be the motherfuckers. They gonna make me like I'm poor over here. No, motherfucker, I got this 2023, motherfucker. What you talking about? I'm living large.
Yeah.
But know that you're paying for a car almost $1,000 for 7 years. When I heard that people paying,
I did hear that the average car note is about $900. Yeah,
for 7 years.
that's a lot.
God damn, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And let me tell you about insurance. My insurance went up. Haven't had an accident, knock on wood, in ever. The motherfucker, I called them, Geico. I called the motherfucker. Said, why my insurance go up? Well, the cost of fixing other cars and other things has caused us to upgrade everybody's insurance higher. My shit went up by $100. Oh, really? Yeah, about $100, about $600 for the whole year, for half a year, because the fucking cars are so expensive that they have to cover. They're gonna raise everybody to compensate for that.
Wow.
Don't give a shit because I haven't had no accidents done. Oh, well, yeah, we know Miss Spear. We've been, you've been here for 20 plus years and blah, blah, blah. We understand all that shit, but, well, that's the way the business is. I said to the lady on the phone, what the fuck that guy do with me? Mm-hmm. My car, you ain't even have replaced shit on my car. Mm-hmm. Why don't you look at everybody who having accidents and shit and raise their shit up, them compensate for the other people who ain't having accidents?
Yeah.
So now they just push your shit up just because. And you're supposed to accept it because you start looking at other places, they're just high enough that's not worth it moving to them.
Yes, absolutely. They know what they're doing. Yeah. Go get another plan if you want to.
Exactly.
That's what they basically said.
Well, go ahead, but you ain't going to save a couple pennies. So you look at everything like, I have to look at every fucking thing. In the stores, stuff, as you know, getting food, stuff has jumped up by 50%. Shit that was $2.99 is now $4.99. What the hell happened?
Yep. Don't know. Don't have a clue.
But
if your household was out of whack before...
Oh, my God. It's really out of whack. Gas prices, they're playing that shit again with gas prices. One time it was going down to $3, now it's back up to $3.50. But what the hell happened? You used the war that's still going on as an excuse. So you had to be smart enough to say, listen, in order for me to save money, I have to look at everything I'm spending money on and look and say, I need this or I don't need this. It's not out of, I want to be the Joneses. Motherfucker, you better be surviving so you can have some money, because they're also now laying people off. Big tech is laying off 15, 20, 30,000 people. Big tech. So if they're laying people off, you know what the hell is going, and they make money. So that filters down to everybody else. Everybody else's shit go up. So that means you ain't making nowhere near the money they're making, but now you're going to pay more.
Right.
So it's like, you got to be more, you can't be stupid now. You have to be like, what am I spending money on if it's worth it? And have some sort of goddamn side money. Put it somewhere that's not tied to your goddamn Cash app or your Venmo. Put that shit somewhere that you don't even see it. Just put it somewhere so you don't even think about it. It doesn't pop up on anything, so you don't have to see it. If you don't see it, you can't fucking use it. That's what you have to do down there. If you that
out of sight, out of mind.
Yes, because you can. You have no control. Do that.
I mean, if you have no control, we'll be grateful that you got to the end of the week at zero. Like you don't owe something.
Jesus.
Your account's not overdrawn.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
That is true. And banks are making a killing off of that. Yeah. Banks was like, oh shit, they were made, I think 2 years ago, they made like a couple $1 billion off of just fees. People not, overdraft fees, and it got to a point where now some of them I think Ally started by saying, we're not going to charge you fees. Yeah. So you got to be smart now. We really got to be smart. We got to get back to our common sense. It doesn't don't worry about the Joneses. Don't worry about anybody. Can you worry about your fucking kids? Yes. Can you make sure that you're taking care of them? Yes. I don't get that. I don't know why it's such a hard thing. And by taking
care of them, you must take care of yourself.
Hello.
You didn't. Hey, I don't know if I'm gonna eat lunch today. No, lunch is due. Prepare your food. Yeah. Take care of yourself. You know life is going to happen. You know you need an oil change. It is not just going to pop out. Prepare for life. Live purposefully. Get out the rat race. Stop being depleted. All that good stuff so that you can properly take care of and feed your children.
Oh, my God.
Feed them more than food, right?
Yes. You got to get yes, more than food, people.
Feed them more than food.
Everything.
Yes.
And if you do that, you'll have some healthy kids. And if you don't do that, I'm gonna see your kid on the news, and it's not gonna be a good thing because if you don't fill them, as you said, if you don't fill your kid's vessel, somebody else will fill your kid's vessel.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna suffer for it. Then you're gonna spend money on bail bonds, been trying to get their asses out.
Absolutely.
So with that, T, another great goddamn conversation. That hopefully these people, my peoples, our peoples, will listen to and pass on to other people, because we just want your kids to be successful.
Absolutely.
Be successful. With that, we're going to leave this particular episode of On the Mic with the M.
And T.
Peoples, you know what you got to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Come visit us again. Come set a spell sometime soon. Until later, peace and blessings. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.